And now we're here, trying something a little new today. Oh no, don't tell me it's buffering already. Come on. Come on. It can't be buffering already. We literally just started. Okay. Nope, just a couple people.
Okay.
Hopefully you enjoyed our little new we're
Shit.
streaming. Every time, done. Every time. Can hear myself in the background. All right. So welcome everyone to Tokotas Podcast for May 31st, 2025. Today we're going to be talking lots of new things, lots of old things. It's Toko New Year's in like literally 6 days. The biggest, well, it should be the biggest holiday of the year, but I think we all love Tokoween for some reason. Like maybe just a little bit too much.
Spooky season.
Yeah, spooky season. All right. So I have a lot to cover, meaning that we're going to kick off really quick today. Okay, so here we go. Let's begin. What?
Background already been noticed.
Oh, yeah. You should notice it. Definitely. All right, let's go to the first one. Some general updates. Toko Takeover May. It was supposed to happen in May, wasn't it? No, it was supposed to happen in April, wasn't it?
Oh my god, yeah, it was April.
You wrote May on here. That was you. So, Toko Takeover April. Here's the Toko. Here's a little T that goes around this. It did get done. It's just that it sat for a month because Dunn fought for a month for it to have a UT. Fought. I said no. I said no like 6 times. Fought for a month. So this is late. We know that. It did get done in time. Thank you, Tina. Isn't it gorgeous? And yes, it is coming with a brand new UT on it.
Thank you, Tina, for that UT suggestion. It really just sealed the deal.
I got it. It was cool. Like, it was funny to call it, like, Flesh Wounds because it's the Black Knight. But we literally had nothing. And I'm going to point out you did hold this up for a full 4 weeks. Because you wouldn't just accept there was no good UT for it.
It needed to be fancy.
It did need to be fancy. Look at it. It was already fancy. So, yes. Kicking this off with a brand new UT called Flesh Wounds, which provides a negative 20 to the Tokota in PvP.
Yep.
In PvP. So that's right. The Toko who has it takes a negative 20 to PvP scores. Flesh Wounds. The starter Monty will be dropping with the opening of the group. So basically Toko New Year. So Monty will be dropping. Starday has created as a beautiful Maralta. Yeah, it's a Mira, isn't it? Yeah, beautiful Mira. And that will be on the lineage of this guy right here. All right.
People in Discord are reporting issues seeing the stream.
Why?
I don't know. Twitch.
Like, we're not doing anything special. It's literally just a screen. Everything else is turned off. I have a theory. I'm going to do it. Because I can make them later. Okay, and I don't have anything else intensive except maybe a significant amount of tabs running on my computer. That would make it weird on our side. Giving me a sec, everybody. I'm just making sure that I am not the cause of the thing.
Okay, apparently logging in. Oh, interesting, Twitch. Logging in is fixing it.
Interesting indeed. All right, so remember to log in, everybody. What was I doing? Okay. Oh, it was crazy. Right, so Flesh Wounds grants negative score to the Toko while participating. 'Tis just a flesh wound. We all get it. It's very funny. Monty will be dropping with group open. And with that being said, obviously this Toko is designed to help other people win PvP, not the Toko in question. So they will never be a PvP star. Maybe we'll have achievement for it managing to win X number of PvPs. Who knows? All right. And let's move on. These first couple things we're probably going to click through really quick. I have decided, probably, on our December project. Probably. This year, the December project is going to be TCA. So yes, that does mean taming, rehome, probably rankings. I'm thinking it's going to be a fairly big refresh of taming, with more details coming in Q4 as I make decisions about exactly what's going to happen. In my opinion, and keep in mind I have tamed Tokos and I have all of the bonuses. I think the only bonus I don't have is like one tribe bonus from the spirited competitions tree. So I have everything else though. And I don't struggle to tame, but we have a lot of people who have that and they're ripping through the numbers really fast. Yes, new people tame, but it is definitely difficult for them. The disparity is pretty high. I don't know how much I'm going to have to update to make this something that scales a little nicer from new to old player. Obviously we'll keep you informed. I'll let you know. It's just, I think TCA is where it's going. And it's not just taming, it's rehome, and I'm pulling the plug on Outpost. Outpost doesn't work. We have done it multiple times, but really there's not a need for Outpost, and there's nothing about Outpost that's super shiny in comparison to the others. When we were doing them for our quotas, because they originally came out to put more quotas in the group, which made sense given their very limited number of slots, their very bad breeding numbers, and everything that came along with them, which I get it. There was a vibe there. And actually, you have even more information about that I'll tangent on in a second. But with all of that in mind, chill, find energy today. It's been a long week, everyone. Let me just stop for 2 seconds and explain that it has been a very, very long 2 weeks, in fact, in my life. A lot of crazy things have happened, including being at a release. So for me, software is my life. When we say release, we mean pushing code up to the production level environment so everyone can use it. And I had to babysit a company that's, I want to say, like more than 50 times bigger than my company, that's paying for 6 or 7 offshore teams to do the work. And I was sitting there going, well, we're done. We're done by 9. We're perfect. Everything was flawless. And you guys, it's midnight and I'm sitting here playing video games, watching you change code in production. It was a taxing night, followed by a taxing day where I learned they had not tested anything with anyone. And so it sapped the life out of me this week. And I am trying to bring myself up. So let's have some good Toko cheer. I'm going to take another sip of my coffee. I'm going to restart this part of the conversation. And then I'm going to ask for questions. And I will be vampire draining the joy out of all of you to buffer myself.
That does not sound pleasant. What?
I'm just feeding upon their joy to feed myself.
Also, what table am I supposed to be going into in here?
Do you want me to say the name of the table? No.
Just direct me to where I'm supposed to be fixing this for your later part of the presentation.
It's not my fault. I don't do a lot of rolls. I didn't even do these rolls you did.
Oh, yeah. I should have looked under that.
You really should have. All right. Okay.
I
All
can't
right.
figure out why Twitch is requiring everybody to log in to view this. There's no setting that I can find.
Because it's not a setting, it's Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch.
Think about it. Does Twitch seem like a company that pays its bills?
Maybe.
You remember Dead Name Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I see.
Okay. I'm not shocked. I don't know. Don't furiously type about this. This is just Twitch being Twitch. It wants you to log in so it can at least justify advertising at you.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what's going on. All right. So, let's start over on December Project with a slightly more awake, little bit more coffee in her, admitted to her insanity right now, so you all know what you're dealing with, Jill. December Project, TCA. Taming, long term, it just needs a facelift at this point in time. Yes, I'm going to have to change bonuses. Yes, everything is up on the table. No, I don't know what I'm doing for it yet. Is my goal to absolutely cripple everyone who's invested time? Absolutely not. Is my goal to somehow make this the same for new players and old-term players? Not possible. So no, still not my goal. Is my goal to make it fun? Of course it is. But what worked for 50 people doesn't work for 2,000 people. And Taming hasn't had a look at it in 7 years?
I mean, to be fair, we're always a little scared to touch taming.
Yeah, because
even to add things.
It is the most PvP part of our system.
Even more so than PvP.
Yeah, more so than PvP. It is the player versus player, so we're always careful about touching it. Now that it's on Tokotas, we have the ability to do more things. It seems fairly stable over there. So we're going to take a look at it in December, which means taming will work the same way it works for the rest of the year. There's no need for us to do any quick patches. Nothing is horrifically broken. It just needs attention to it. Much like the build numbers needed attention to them. They were surviving. We were okay, but it was time to look at them. It's just TCA's turn. And that will include taming and rehome, which does mean like rehome maybe we'll get more bonuses, more things like you put an entry in, and if you have certain companions, it gives you a chance to roll things. So that's kind of where my brain is, at least on rehome. And Outpost is dead. No, you won't convince me to bring it back. I've been trying to make fetch happen, and this fetch ain't happening. Okay? We're going to fill that space with some other activity. There is a hunger for content contests in general. I hunger for them. I loved the content contests, but where do I put them in all of this other stuff I've given you? So I'm going to take Outpost, I'm going to break it out of TCA, and we're going to do that. And then you're going to be like, but there's going to be bonuses that you can't use for, 3 or 4 months out of the year. Yeah, friend.
Well, December's already a dead month, so.
December's already a dead month, so you're really only losing, 3 more months? And even then, it's fine. When taming comes around, people who are dedicated to getting their rank up, they're going to get their rank up. Okay? Now take a month off and relax. Okay, I will now take questions.
In the podcast questions channel specifically.
Yes, in the podcast questions channel about December Project. And I will state this. I reserve the right to change my mind if something else makes itself known before December that really needs that project instead, because TCA could limp along another year and it would be okay. I'm kind of sitting here staring at faction points. If people who are in the Discord probably know that, but I think faction points can be addressed mid-year, not needing a full December project. But I don't know yet. It'll depend when poor Ami gets dragged into this conversation. Nobody likes it. That's not true. Some people like it when my eyes are on their department. Some people really don't like it when my eyes are on their department. Okay, so questions?
Will we lose our faction rank, or will the rank system change? Or TCA rank? Sorry, TCA rank.
I've already said TCA ranks were changing. I've told everyone that because all the people were running at the bonding thing, so that's always been on the table. We've just been looking for a new thing. TCA ranks are probably going to change. Do I know exactly what's going to happen? No. But I am saying, let me see what I write here, because it was in my brain, including taming, rehome, and maybe ranks, so probably ranks, are going to change in some variety, but you will keep the equivalent of what you have now. We're not going to make anybody start over.
Could you imagine? Yeah, just go do rank 5's climb again. Bye.
No. If rank 5 is like rank 7 in the new system or the augmented system, then we would just slot you over. We wouldn't make you restart. That's psychotic.
I'm doing questions out of order because this segues nicely. Would we keep the bonding bonus for T5? I'm pretty sure we were told by the players that they want that elsewhere.
Yeah. I learned players are running at T5 for this bonding bonus, which is silly, in my opinion. So I've already declared like months ago, I'm moving that. The only reason it hasn't moved somewhere else yet is because I don't have something to slot into its place nicely, which is leading towards this belief that we need a rebalance of this system. And then anyone who's got that bonus, they'll just get it. It's the same way that when we did away with crafting genie, all those people got painted dog totem. No?
No, we didn't do that.
We were supposed to do that.
We have this conversation every time. Sorry. CH may have found a fix for the setting on Twitch.
Oh, cool. What's
Go
the thing?
CH. Hold on. Okay, we need to go into our Twitch settings and go to moderation.
I do or you do?
You do.
Okay. Hold on, everybody. IT, which actually you don't really want me as your IT person, if I'm honest. IT people don't like me. All right, I'm here. And so I go in here and I go to, you say settings?
Settings, moderation.
Channel settings?
I think channel settings?
Okay, hold on. Because I went to settings and that didn't work. Settings, different settings. All right, here I am.
Okay, moderation. Very last one on the page.
Pin message?
No, followers only mode. But that is toggled. So, what?
Hell no, I don't want followers only mode.
Okay, but that was a suggestion, but I guess that's not what's it. Thank you, though, CH. I appreciate you.
Yep. No, legit. I don't mind stopping to try. Could just be a Twitch issue. Probably just a Twitch issue. All right, but yeah, no, that bonding bonus will be moving somewhere. And I know we go through this every time, and then it gets forgotten about. Somebody, not done, has to remind me on like Tuesday to just go unlock this totem for everybody then. Because if they had the crafting genie, why wouldn't they get the totem?
There was a whole conversation about it because of the crafting chain involved.
Is there?
Yeah, because it's behind the big quest chain.
It's behind a big quest chain. I hate myself for that. Okay. That was a terrible example. Well, at least know that we're not in a dictatorship because I am very fallible and accept being wrong. All right.
What is our stream resolution right now?
How do I tell?
I don't know, but Maz showed up. Logged out users have been limited to 1080p streams.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there. I told you it was Twitch. I have literally no idea how I would check.
We are 1576.
Okay. How do we change that?
That might be an OBS thing.
OBS, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Settings. All right. Speak. I must dig through settings.
Why am I speaking? I'm also digging through settings.
I have OBS and you don't. So answer questions.
Oh, I'm supposed to answer questions? Oh, no.
Well, I do this thing.
Okay, we answered the bonding bonus one. Will rehoming be changed / updated? Yes, that is also on the table to make rehome more. How more? Hard to say, but one of the hardest things that I know I have when planning TCA bonuses is how to make them apply to both taming and rehome equally. It's kind of really I'm not actually all that close to I wasn't purposefully close to the mic. Jill shoved this in my face. But thanks, Ella.
This feels like the spot, but the numbers don't make sense.
Okay, hold on.
Change stream.
Okay, the frame rate needs to be set before starting on OBS, so we need to restart.
I don't want to though, but I think I may have to.
As Lou is getting really good at stitching our podcast together.
All right, y'all. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. I think we're back. I left that little up there so it would be easy for Azlua to grab it and stitch it together. We have significantly dropped our scaling. I don't know why it was up so high. We clearly don't need that. not for anything we're doing. So hopefully that solves a ton of our issues.
Yeah, I wonder if that's been the issue with all the streams and things.
Could be. We're all learning together. I'm not a podcaster. I just do this.
Yeah, somebody suggested YouTube Live, and if that would be easier, but we don't actually have enough subscribers to do that.
We don't have enough subscribers. Yeah, simple as that.
However, there is a federated universe.
No. I know that you can figure out how to do it. I completely believe in you. I'm relatively certain that I could figure out how to do it, just with more swearing. Do I feel like every Toko player wants to figure out the federated universe today to listen to a podcast from us? No.
I think they could do it.
I think you're biting off more than you can chew.
When don't I?
Have listened to the notes for creating accounts. Okay? Okay. Lovely. Okay.
The issue with doing Discord is having the recordings and this Twitch chat and all that jazz.
Exactly. Alrighty. All right. So December project. Any more questions?
I think I got them all.
Huzzah!
Last call for questions. Otherwise, I'll let Jill carry on.
And carry on I shall.
Oh, everybody's just now seeing Jurassic Bark.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, Toko Nublar. We're going back and forth. I was calling it Jurassic Bark, but then Kep was like, Toko Nublar.
I'm like, both are good. We'll figure it out. All right. Now, let's move on to the things we promised this year status update. So, with the things we promised this year, gardening. Gardening is mostly done. Phase 1 is fully done. We've implemented enough bonuses, I think, to keep people happy. The beta closed at the end of March. We've dealt with a few more little bugs as they've come up, but I don't know, it seems to be going pretty smooth. I know there are people unlocking their 5th and 6th plot right now. People have got enough bonded tokos to run it, and now that they've had time to actually dedicate to getting their numbers down, they're finding it a little bit easier to keep everything alive, and the strategy of the system is coming into play of what you water, don't water, do I guard today, do I not guard today, my world didn't end because I didn't water this one day, sort of thing.
Oops, I ignored my garden for 5 days, but I still got plants. I am very guilty of this. Yeah, you are.
So yes, I think the initial shock of, I can't do it, has worn off. Now we have a fairly stable gardening system. As promised, I did say in May-ish, I would post a feedback thread for more long-term gameplay, and that will be going up today. So
technically May.
Yeah, technically May. Still technically May. April didn't exist for me, everybody. April just didn't exist. I was in a different time zone.
We could not get anything done together to save our lives.
No, because as it was 1 o'clock in the morning, Dan was getting up. And I was like, yeah, this is not working. I wrote a whole short story for an anthology because I was bored and couldn't do anything without Dan.
I read all of Black Clover because I just,
Yeah. So April didn't exist. We're catching up on May. We're slamming April and May into 2 months. So gardening, I'm calling that good. We have met what we promised that we would catch that up before we started other new systems. Trackers. Trackers are moving into phase 2 right now. Phase 1 is out. Phase 1 has been very successful as far as I can tell. We had a few errors up front. We've made changes in the background. Players who are in that beta probably didn't see much of a change because it was all in the back end to prepare us for phase 2, which I will get to later. So we're moving into phase 2. For phase 1, when we open for June, Tokotas trackers will be available for everyone. For activities. Career tracking will continue to happen on DA. Career tracking is still slated for phase 3 of trackers, okay? Phase 2 is something else. But in June, I think they'll be open for everybody. I'm going to deep dive those in another section. I just wanted to do status updates. We have done part of what we've promised. We're still working on it. We are thinking of the future on it. We're watching system metrics, making sure we're not wrecking ourselves. And we'll keep you updated on that as we go. We'll deep dive it later. finally, of the things I promised that I would finish before I moved on to other bigger, badder projects again, Vruma. It's kind of happening. There are a couple writers. Things are kind of being written out. No, I don't think we've started coding the adventure yet. My hope is once the beta of Trackers Phase 2 is happening, then I'll buckle my time down on that. It's just in the scheme of what you wanted, it seemed to be the least priority, so it sat behind the other two. And now that gardening is done and we're just creating more bonuses for it, given a little bit of time, and Phase 2 is starting of Trackers, and then I'll start. Phase 3 is going to be a bigger thing. I know I have to concept a couple things. And then finally for Vruma, I can start making those updates and getting some code written for it and wire it into Ree's new adventure system because she's doing so much cool stuff over in Adventures, and I actually have a bunch of that too. Okay, so that's where we are on things that we promised. It's May. We're making decent progress. Not as much as I would like, but decent progress. Like I said, April didn't exist. And yes, if you've noticed, we have been coming out with new tack all year for the deities. So you're getting your first glance at the melee tack done by Dark Heartseer.
No, this one's done by Mooney.
This one's Mooney. Damn it, I'm so sorry, Mooney. This one was done by Mooney. I should always just look at you and never guess. A horrible person.
Did we announce which department Mealy was getting in our previous podcast?
We might have.
Well, if not, Mealy is Brawl.
Mealy is Brawl. That's right. Mealy's coming to Brawl, which kind of makes sense. He's kind of aggressive.
B-E aggressive.
B-E aggressive. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to the what else section, and then I'll stop for questions. What else also has more spoilers? Okay. What else? Outpost has been retired. I mentioned that before. You're going to see contests and other activities popping up in those months. This is going to be like the build contests that we did before, and the main contest, and the physical trait contests, and the canon location contests for currently existing areas, and just other things of that nature. Content for the game to canonize it will be happening here. So that's what we're going to do in those months. Yeah, it's a lot of judging on our part on the other end, but that's okay.
Certain things are happening to free up some bandwidth to do those again.
Exactly. So we're freeing up a little more bandwidth across the board, hopefully, for people, and that'll allow us to do more of those things. And you know, when we say contest, we use that word real loosely. It encompasses a lot of things that most people go, that's not a contest. Everyone did an entry and got a prize. Yeah, I know.
Just like my raffles.
Yeah, just like your raffles. So what reality is going to happen is we're going to use the word contest, but we're going to be like, hey, everybody, hit us with your ideas for builds. And then everyone's going to get their participation prize. We're going to take those. We're going to put them in a little box and sit and think about them for like 8 months and then come up with, okay, here's circle 2. Right? So and if you were here for the last one, you'll know that nobody turned in a Maralta. A bunch of people turned in a sight hound or a maned wolf sort of build.
Tall, lanky.
And I went, okay, tall and lanky, got it. And then we concepted the Maralta from there. And the same for everything else that was happening. We just kind of concepted them out of stuff. And some didn't happen. Like, Cray had this super cool raccoon, but it wasn't going to happen. Bats are happening this time. I'm telling you, bats are happening this time.
Hilarious. Discord is blowing up about bat.
Bat. Yeah, no, bats are definitely happening. The first winged Tokotas are going to happen. The dragon bats. Okay. So that's Outpost. REs are still closed. However,
don't hit the mic. Oh my goodness.
However, when I was in Scotland, Ree got on a train and came to meet me in Edinburgh. So we met in Edinburgh, and we did talk primarily about Tokos. I think I learned her partner's name and vaguely what he did, and otherwise we talked about Tokos. I introduced my child to her and gave his name, and then we talked about Tokos. So one of those conversations that we talked about was Ari's, and Ree came prepared for the assignment. So repitched me a new RE system in person. And turns out we're both very technically minded individuals. So we talked nitty gritty systems. And we came to an agreement of exactly what we're going to do with REs. And based on what's happening, I have full faith that Ree or myself, if I end up being the next one on that block, can build the code system to put REs onto Kotne. Fully onto Kotne. And then the back end piece of what the REs are and what you get out of them will be taking what's there and building it into this new system. We're probably going to streamline some of them. We'll have some ideas about how all it goes. Dunn has a little bit of ideas about that. Copper has some stuff laying around about that too. So we'll take all of that to kind of streamline them in, and we'll take what currently exists, fit them in, maybe create a few more, maybe cut some that, never show up, we don't need, of that nature. And that means REs will move onto Kotne. And when you get an RE, you will do it there. Now, you're probably sitting there going, but what about those like faction prompts? They're going to become something else, okay? Well, we're not going to do away with them, but if you get one of those, it's going to get divorced from your role, okay? So that your role is not waiting on it. If like you pull one of those, we'll flip a flag on the Toko, we'll put something in your bank for you to redeem elsewhere to go and do this thing over here. And it will not be connected to your role. It will basically count as RE complete at that point in time. Because we don't have any things that affect those prompts anyway, so we're going to divorce those from it. So we're not getting rid of them. We're just divorcing them from your role results, all right? And then when you complete your RE there, your role will be good for you to redeem from then on, all right? If you want to hold on to your REs and use them on your roles that you currently have, then you need to not redeem them. All right? We're not doing some weird in-between system. Yes, I know it is May. They've been closed for 5 months. I'm sorry. But the person who did all of them retired, and they had been here for a long time. It was completely fair. So we got to now do something that works for the amount of work that we have, that's not training, like 5 or 6 people to cover the work of that one person who knew it like the back of their hand and better.
Copper carried REs
from like day one.
So yeah, replacing copper is not an easy lift.
Replacing copper requires a significant amount of people. And so rather than do a significant amount of people, we are going to do some code. So REs are becoming automated onto Kotne. They will be tied to your role. You will handle them there, and then they'll get marked as complete as soon as you finish them. So they will move to fairly quick for you to finish at this point rather than waiting a couple weeks to get through them. Okay? Okay. Cool. And now we'll take questions on the things I promised and their status and everything I just said.
I guess you can explain what's on the screen.
Oh, yeah. While you're typing questions, I'll explain this. So these are our festive challenge trophies. That's right. Look at them. Aren't they adorable? Like that pumpkin and the festival.
Got jump scared by their own art.
Oh, it did. That's cute.
Always fun to be on a Toko podcast and be like, wait.
Yeah. If I paid for it, it's going to show up in the podcast.
I'm pretty sure I just handed that to Jill this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not these ones specifically, but other things in the past.
Kept handing me something not even 12 hours ago.
What did Cap hand you?
Doesn't matter.
What did Cap hand you, Jill?
Doesn't matter. Someday you're going to learn not to share the podcast template with me. Actually, one of these, you're going to be able to tell which one I did that Dunn had no idea about, that I did it before all of this and slipped it in, because it doesn't follow the rest of the format at all. And she's going to be like, what the heck is this? It's so obvious that Jill made this not Dunn. Just because it's the same font isn't enough. All right.
Okay, questions. Question about questions.
Okay.
Will there be more opportunities to ask them / suggest things when we get more information? Feel I'll definitely have more with details. Note, this is about taming.
Yeah. So, if you, I don't know who's asking, but I always take feedback, especially on the December project. The reality is I'm telling you now so that the shock of it happening will have dimmed a little by the time we get to the details. And then I'll try and give you the details with lots of lead time to the change so that you have time for it to go through your head. And the initial OMG of it fades enough for us to get like real ideas. Because we've seen it happen in so many other systems. Like, people need time to be mentally prepared to accept these changes happening. If you just drop them on them and say, and this is the way it is now, that's a bad idea. So Q3, I'll probably have some version of an idea, and I'll start floating ideas through Gen Chat to get initial reactions. And then by Q4, I'll be like, okay, here's what I think we're going to do. Here's a podcast about it. And then put up, what is with you today, woman? Not you guys, me. I never hit it. It's the nails.
I'm so sorry.
And then I'll put up a feedback thread. And we'll go from there. But yes, feedback will be welcomed. I love feedback. I'm one of the few people in the world who's like, yes, give me all the feedback, good and bad. Just don't be a dick about it, and I will listen to you. But also, I had to get nails for my cousin's wedding when I was in Scotland, and they were the wrong shape, the wrong color, and they were much longer than I expected them to be. And I don't really know how to get them off because I don't wear a ton of acrylic nails. I keep getting told I have to put my nails in acetone and file, which just sends shivers down my spine. So now I have these giant nails that are just getting longer, and I can't type anymore. It's ridiculous. So if you've noticed that I typo significantly more than usual, yeah, it's because of the nails hitting random keys. All right. Hopefully that answered that question. Next one.
Will companions, traits, totems work for redeeming items from online trackers? We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I've still got a handful of unfinished RE art prompt challenges. Am I still able to finish and submit those? So those would be the old ones. We did say to hold on to them back in January.
Yeah, you can finish them. We'll probably give you till the end of the year to do them, and then we're just going to be like, they're gone. They're done.
Maybe we'll take a look at with other things winding down. Thinking out loud. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, thinking out loud. Anything else?
What is the rough ETA for the new RE system?
I don't have one. I'm not going to put words in my mouth or Ree's when we haven't decided. She's heads down in adventures. I'm heads down in trackers. Who in their right mind thinks to call me right now?
I love that your phone, despite being silent, is violently buzzing.
No, I'm going to ignore this human.
Oh, Ella says you gotta go to the salon.
I gotta go. But then they're just going to try and get me to put more nails on. And I have to go to, I'm selling.
Actually, Annie says soak them in acetone for a bit and should peel off super easy.
Okay. Okay, so here's the other kicker about this. This coming weekend, not this weekend, the next one, I'm at Phoenix Fan Fusion. Yes, I do get to say that. Selling my books to people. So I do need to have non-crap hands while I'm there. So if I peel these nails off, are my nails going to look atrocious? Or do I need to dedicate, because I've got this one and I got Baycon in July, do I just need to suck it up and dedicate, I'm going to have these nails for the rest of the summer till I get through con season? What'd they say?
I'm just watching add more nails. 3 nails for every finger.
I mean, if I did that and I got caught committing a crime, they'd probably think it was AI.
You know, that's true. Oh God, I can't stop laughing.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Do they have advice, or am I stuck with these nails for the summer?
My eyes are tearing up. I can't keep up with chat.
I guess I'll read later.
Oh my gosh. Depends on what they use as their bonder.
This is going to sound real bad, but in Glasgow, every nail place is a money laundering operation. There's no such thing as a non-money laundering nail operation. There was literally 4 Queen's Nails. 4 places called Queen's Nails, completely unaffiliated with each other, because they don't care, because they're only going to be there for a year before they pack up and move to another spot. Apparently, it's a thing. So I have no idea, because the lady that I got, as I said, these are the wrong size, color, and shape We did not share a language in common, and we were not even pantomiming well at each other. All right. I only got these nails done because another woman showed up, and I had 2 women doing my nails, and that one spoke English, but it was too late. She just made sure my nails were the same shape and size when all was said and done. All right. So no clue, and I can't even call them and hope for a reputable answer.
Okay, so recommend taking them off because the longer the growth gets, the more you destroy your natural plate.
Okay.
And, yeah, salon. So we should just go to your mom's salon.
We'll go to a salon. Andy will handle it. Andy is not Andy's name. But for some reason, he uses Andy. All right. Okay. Back on topic. Were there any other questions?
No, there weren't. You got derailed on nails for quite some time.
I got the help I finally needed.
They told you what I told you. Go to the salon. This is outside our scope.
Yeah. Once outside your scope, go get help. Okay. All right. But as I was saying on the REs, I don't know for sure yet. Whoever finishes whatever they finish first, they'll move on to REs next. We both completely understand the framework and the database structures that we need to make it happen. It's just who's got time. And I'll keep you updated as soon as we start that project.
Because I also need coding time for other things.
I know.
So demanding.
Okay. Let's go talk about trackers in depth now. So, in June, Tokotas trackers will be open for everyone for activity rules. Career trackers are still planned for Phase 3, so they'll be on DA for a little bit longer. I have to build there needs to be some way for them to put career trackers or career results into the system. And right now there's an activity roller, and that activity roller got hooked into our main site to send that data through. Careers competitions don't have anything like that right now. Yeah, CEs are rolled by hand. Well, with a few exceptions like Brawl. I think Rhea had to roll Brawl once, so she built a roller. Yeah, I don't blame her. I never had to roll Brawl, or I would have done the same thing. I did update her roller because the one time I had to do like one round of Brawl, it did a thing I didn't like, so I changed it. Coders, what do you do? But that's how that's going to go. The goal right now for me is in September, everyone's going to be on the Tokotas trackers, and we're not going to have any DA ones for activities. That means, yes, I'll be enforcing them. Why? Because the amount of stash trackers already cause heartburn when they come back around. And we stopped those years ago, right? Years at this point. And they still come around, and we still have to deal with them, and they're a lot, and they're difficult. There will be no shortage of DA rolls for years to come.
Still getting ones from 2016 in the bank.
We still get ones from 2016 in the bank.
Oh, buffering. Right at the good part.
Right at the good part.
Network
Ouch.
error.
What? No. The hell? No, it doesn't say that I stopped over here.
I think everybody. Last thing they heard was heartburn, so they think Stash took you out.
Tell them to hit reload.
I hit reload. Okay, hit reload. Okay, reload. Everybody's good.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, so repeat.
Stash trackers still give us heartburn. There are still things coming in from 2016 on DA into the bank. We will have no shortage of these rolls for a while to come. I know, sweet Alcestia, I'll get to it. I'll tell you that, guys, in the next part. But the point is, in September, I'm going to enforce that you're on Tokotas and only on Tokotas. It allows us greater integration, better control of things. It keeps everything super standardized. It's going to be easier for the activity rollers because their training time is through. Like, they're at a good spot. As far as I know, they're not struggling with this, and things aren't ending up on the wrong rollers anymore. Like, they've worked a lot of that out. They've had the training time they needed. We've had enough time to be confident things are working in the system, and away we go. So everyone's going to move over, and then we're going to enforce it, and we're going to kill DA activity rollers. So when somebody new comes in, they don't have to go through the rigmarole of, what's an activity roller?
Activity tracker.
Yeah, activity tracker,
Well, that too. What's an activity roller?
right? So
What are all these things?
that's the way it's going to be. And that'll be in September. Career CE ones are probably going to take longer. I got to balance my time. Okay? Okay. And I'm not going to take questions about those because I'm going to immediately. What's wrong?
I was just checking where we were on the agenda.
We're moving to this one. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
All right, everybody. Brace yourselves in case the stream dies again.
So I'm going to take a moment and wax poetically about this next section because I deserve to. I deserve to. We have finished auto redeems on Tokotas. No, we is not fair. I'm going to be selfish for a little bit. I have finished auto redeems on Tokotas. This has been a white whale sort of thing. And I want you all to understand. And some of you, I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like, oh no, I was one of those people. It's fine. I don't remember you. It's all good. There were so many, I couldn't name names.
The biggest offender is sitting in the room with you.
But yeah, the biggest offender is sitting, the only name I could name. When I joined Tokotas, I saw many issues on the admin team, not with people, with processes, because my job was to build applications that solved business processes. That's why I'm so good at streamlining the things that happen and going, nah, we're going to remove that weird step and we're going to do this. And it's 7 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we found your note. It's at least 7, maybe 8.
I've been on the team 8 years. I've been in a position of power for 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do count even the time I was just an admin and not a manager as a position of power because
You were saying no.
I said no to things, and then I got hired to do the website, which is a saga. Oh, the website is a saga. I get it. People didn't know. I always say it was like they kept hiring foot surgeons to do like heart surgery. They're both coders, but they're not doing the same thing. They're not specialized in the same thing. So hiring game developers, people who work in physics engines and do all that sort of cool stuff in a game to build an application, not a game, which I see why everyone thinks it's the same thing. It's not. In this sense, it's not. So I totally understand how the game developer guy was like, yeah, I can do this. Then he got here and was like, oh, it's not game development. It's application development. So it was difficult for him. No shade. Other dude, I understand why he bailed. I might have done the same thing if I had been in his situation. Should have given the money back. But it is what it is. And then finally, it was me. And I actually wasn't getting hired to do this job. I was getting, hey, can you consult? And I was like, how about I just do it? And they were like, oh, well, we didn't want to put it on you. I was like, nah, how about I just do it? And money was sorted out. All of that happened. And I was originally being hired to build a glorified Google sheet for the banks. And I went, no, that's not happening. I play this game. That's not useful. So very much without permission, I built the logins. I built the banks. I built transfers. And I built the shops all in a go. And I was like, cool. Now we have a website. It does actual things. It's great. And that's where we went. So that happened, and yes, very much without permission. Then I showed up, and I was like, here you go. And they were like, oh, this is great. And I was like, yeah, I'm aware. Thank you. Thank you. And we've built on it from there. But when I joined the admin team, and I was seeing all these processes, there was 2 things that I was like, these need resolved, or we are dead. This game will never break like 500 people and continue, victim of its own success. TAC apps and redeems. And I know that's silly because everyone's like, but breeding's more important and activity rollers are more important. You're correct. Those are big, important pieces of the system. But bank and everything that was happening in the purview of bank was the lifeblood of the system. If redeems don't happen, it does not matter how cool your activity rules were. If you can't trade things with players, there is no economy of transferring. So bank was actually very, very important piece of the system of Tokos that Tokos couldn't run without it, and it was overwhelmed in many ways. And behind. Y'all remember TAC apps? So when I joined the team and I got Chakotay up and we got crafting in a couple other things, I sat down. Oh, God. Do you remember how long it took me to do TAC apps?
I don't remember because it was very hot on the heels. We got the bank site up and then you got the imports the next December. And then TAC apps was not long after that.
Because the imports had to happen. But I want to say that I spent 4 months, 3 to 4 months in the guts of code building TAC apps. Okay? And then we got it up. It took a major strain off the bank and redeems started going faster, right? Which was the goal, to get redeems faster. TAC apps needed to be taken off the purview of bank. It made sense for it to belong to bank, but it needed to be taken off of bank so that they could run at redeems. Because TAC apps were complicated. And they required so much extra this, that, pull this out of the bank, do this, do this, do this. They need to go away. It was like bankers should be doing redeems all the time, redeems, and a few other little things. And during all of this, all the way up until I want to say I think the last time I dealt with this was 8 months ago. I have people who come to me all the time and go, wouldn't it be cool if there was auto redeems? And I'm like, yes, woman, man, sir, gal,
Me.
other pal, done. It would be. But let me give you the litany of questions that I go through every single time someone pitches me auto redeems like I hadn't thought of it before. And it does drive me a little batty. It did. Like, people would show up and be like, have you ever thought about doing auto redeems? No. Please, tell me all about this. That I, the architect of the bank, never considered auto redeems. Go ahead. It does. I get petty about it. It's true.
How many sketched little wireframes have I shown up with in your DMs?
Don has shown up with like in the 30s. And other players have too. They've been like, I had an idea. And I'm like, okay. And every time someone tells me that, I'm like 50-50. It's going to be auto redeems. And it usually is. People show up with beautiful screens. And I'm like, well, you could just do this and that would work. And I'm like, interesting. So tell me, how do we determine what Toko that role is for? Well, what do you mean? It's like, well, how do we determine that it was actually rolled by this Toko and not this Toko that they're going to enter? Because they're just copy pasting into a box here, right? And they're like, oh. I was like, yeah. And tell me, how do we ensure that they don't redeem the same role twice? And they're always like, it's like, and how do we do this? How do we do this? I'm like, well, I didn't think about any of these security features. I just thought it would be really nice. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been here. I've done this for 7 straight years. About every 6 months, someone pitches me auto redeems. Sometimes players, sometimes a suggestion box, sometimes other admins. Mostly done. So I do get to sit and soapbox about this because I lived it for 7 years with people pitching me this. There were things that needed to happen to get us there. But there were other things that needed to happen to get us there. It was a 7-year endeavor, but we've done it. And now I get to show off and I get to show it to you and I get to claim lots and lots of credit. And don't get me wrong, other people of course helped, but this time I'm claiming more of the credit than usual. Okay, let's do this thing. Let's go look at auto redeems. Dun dun dun. Oh, whoops. I did delete that, didn't I?
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm not sorry for all the times I've badgered you with a system or this or that or the next thing. I'll never be sorry.
I know you won't. They probably see my calculator at the side right now. They're like, what is that? Don't worry too much about it. All right. Where did you put that? You put it here? Okay.
You only have the upper quadrant.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm resizing. There we go. Normally I would have it, but I deleted it thinking maybe it was causing the buffer issues.
All right, everybody. We're screen sharing. If anyone gets buffering or something, just drop a message quickly.
Please. All right. So, here I am. I have my... Is it in bank? No, it's on Tokos. My roll tracker. Now, I don't have a lot of rolls. Okay? I have very few rolls. Let's start with this one right up here. I'm going to click on it. Isn't it lovely? Did you complete these?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Are you not logged in?
Oh, it logged me out.
See, this is why you should change your theme away from the default so you can tell when it logs you out.
No. So this is my role. You probably recognize this. This looks lovely. Probably going to min. Remind me to do a min content on the rows on the index page because of the images.
Putting it in the thing.
Thank you. You're going to see, if this is your role, you're going to see this new little redeem button. And it's going to take you to this page right here. So if you look at this lovely page, you can see it's going to remind you a lot of the TT calculator and how that works. But we come in here and you'll see it belongs to a roomie. The type is caving. There's no random event. It's pending. And here's all of the bonuses. And yes, they are links so that you can click on them and see what they do. Before we could do auto redeems, we needed a way to control the roles. And yes, like, we know that a admin commented it. That's good enough for someone manually redeeming. They can double check that. They can make sure that it's not been edited in any way. They can verify. I mean, that's half of what bankers do. They open your role. They check the items there versus the items in your in your redeem strings, and they verify there's nothing missing or added, right? And while I know that 99% of you are not bad actors, you wouldn't do this, there are people who will do it. How do we know that? The people that we kicked out of Toko's when we moved to the website for the first time, right? Majority of people completely grateful to be here, so excited. Handful of them, well, let's find ways to make big ticket items that we'll then use to scam people. Well, you don't get to play Toko's anymore. And we don't want to go through that. So we had to have a way to control the roles. When we cracked the code on having multiple entries connected to a Toko not like how Toko items were, but like all the different trackers that she had started building. I think she sorted that out based on HP trackers. Like, we were just bouncing back and forth with each other. One person would do one thing and they'd go, oh, and they'd take that and they'd build something cooler. And then I would go, oh, and I would build something cooler. And then another coder would do that. And that's been going on for years until trackers hit and taming trackers, all that sort of stuff happened. We were able to do the role tracker. Additionally, I got better at my job in general. The Jill of 7 years ago and the Jill of today is now a queen of APIs versus the novice who was 7 years ago. And therefore, she was able to build both sides of it, secure it properly, send items, do everything she needed to. Additionally, Secret does get bonus points here because Secret cracked the best way for us to handle an API layer in the system that we have right now that allows us screen interactivity and APIs. So we took what she did and we moved that further back end to build more APIs that allowed these two rollers to talk to each other super cleanly, super securely, and bam, there we go. Suddenly we can send roles between systems. And because I've just learned more, I know how to do create, update, delete, and all of that through APIs correctly, done well, creating logs the right way, doing everything that we needed to do to get that done. So activity roles dropped into the system in what, like March? Maybe sooner?
Didn't you launch us in January with them?
I think I might have. And they...
Or February. This year's a blur.
Yeah. Earlier this year, they dropped. And then we had the screen so you could view them, and we put all of those together. And as we were looking at them, I came to the realization that I didn't need to rebuild the TT calculator. I just needed to put them in a format that I could use them on a screen. So at about 1,000 roles, somewhere around there, a big change happened in the background, sending data that we weren't using, useless data, until today. That data is what tells me how many of each thing there is, how much TT, what the item ID is, because I don't care about the name. I only care about the ID. So we loaded all of that data into the system, and we have it sending it in a backend field that we then use to build this. With Secret's API layer, we can connect this to an API in the backend that allows us to do the redeems without constant page loads, which is what one of the problems was, things getting lost in the page load. So watch. For this one, I could hit redeem all, and you'll see, boom, everything goes in, calculates it, and these values are calculated with all of the bonuses intact for them. This includes the totems, the bank traits, Silver Tongue, and all of the companion bonuses, the tribe bonuses. Studious is in there. Quick Learner is accounted for in here.
Skill Seeker.
And Skill Seeker is accounted for in here. And all of those will show up there and be automatically applied. There's no situation in which you won't apply these traits to things, so they're just automatically applied. You can't turn them off. And that's the difference, right? You can't put something in where with the Toko that has Skill Seeker not using Skill Seeker, all right? Which is probably better for all of us in the long run. And we always know what Toko it is because the Toko is set by the activity roller and sent to us. So we can trust the data. Bam, here we are. So the redeem all, the bank all button, and additionally I could be like, okay, well I want to keep the silver, let me do this. I do redeem all, but I want to keep the silver nugget, and I probably want to keep the reindeer. And here's everything here. All right, so this is how much TT I'd get. Here's the items I would keep. I'm going to hit process. Now, 2 possible messages are going to pop up here. If you have an RE, or that I'd said yes, it'd be like, hey, you're going to void this. Are you sure? And then you would hit OK. And then it would pop up this message. Are you sure you want to process your redeem? This action is irreversible. We do expect that for the first couple months, people will do silly things and that we will be correcting them, and then everyone will learn the system and it'll be fine. But I'm going to click OK. Now, throws me back here, back to this one. This status is now complete. The redeem button is gone because people will try it. If I go back here, it's going to be like roll redeemed and kick me back to the tracker. Simple as that. Where we're going to go next, to my profile. Redeemed. Bam. Right there. And when I redeemed it, don't worry about these. These were testers. But right there. Redeemed. Ta-dam! And on the date. And I do log that log ID to the roll just in case we need to go and check something later. So it's not like lost to the abyss because there's so many logs. But now I have those, and those items are in my bank. Do you recall if I had a silver nugget? I don't think I did.
You did.
I did? Boom, and now I have 2. Ta-dam! And that's that. It's redeemed. Additionally, because I am not a sadist, you will notice these little arrows. These arrows will take you to the next roll the roll owner has. So here. These are my 4 rolls. Like that. So you don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. Now you will notice that these 2 are pending and they don't have it. That's because they're too old. There's a very small section of rolls from the beginning of January that don't have the items logged in, or the items format in the background. I'm not going through and doing those. Redeem them through the bank thread. Okay? I'm not doing it. It's too much data, and the data's too all over the place. It would take me a fairly long time to do it. I would make mistakes, and then I would just be spending weeks cleaning that up. Take them to the bank thread. So if you don't see the redeem in the corner, take it to the bank thread. All right? And I'm going to do one more. I'm doing this one because it's got heart and it's got raw TT. You'll see for the raw TT, you can only redeem it. And for the heart that has no value, you can only send it to the bank. So you cannot accidentally redeem something that has no redeem value. All right? So watch. I'm going to hit redeem all. That one still sends to the bank. I don't think there's anything in here I'd want to save. There we go. 2 self-serve redeems. Done. Seconds. And that stuff is now in my bank. So from the moment the activity hit my bank, I think you get notifications about those, don't you? Pretty sure you're supposed to get notifications about those. I would need to double check.
I'm going to look at my notifications table. Haven't done any since January. You've made changes since then.
Yeah, I know. But there we go. Auto redeems. Don't worry about this. This is an admin thing in the corner. You're not supposed to see this. I stole it straight off of the slot trackers, okay? That's straight off of the slot trackers. That's why it's a heart. But there it is. we have automated redeems. The people who have been on the trackers originally, they will be the betas for June to make sure it works. We ran a fair chunk through it. Admins doing redeems here and there. Complicated redeems, simple redeems, things with... Their mom's trying to call me today. Things with Studious, Skill Seeker. We tried all of those and they looked correct. I think the only one we didn't technically try was the Tribe Broker, but I'm super confident in it anyway because of how it gets applied. The fact that the caver and all that is being applied implies it should be applied. Okay? So, here we go. Auto redeems. I'm so excited. I know it doesn't sound it, but I really am. This has been 7 years in the making. It's one of the 2 reasons I joined the admin team. It is finally done. I finally did all of the steps that come before it to get us there. And yes, it is built on the shoulder of giants. Ree and Secret did things that had nothing to do with this that laid the groundwork to get us there. I'm very, very excited. I'm so excited I can't actually react correctly. Okay, questions. Now that you have listened to me soapbox and seen the demo.
Okay. What is the rough ETA for Tokota redeems? You might have already said, but this might have also been earlier, but repeat it, it's fine.
Yeah, so what's the rough estimate? Betas will be starting in June with the people who already have redeems in the system, or excuse me, roles in the system. So I'll be locking it down to just them and letting them go through. Everyone else will be able to start pulling roles in at that time. If things go smoothly for a week, maybe I'll open it up more. If things are a firestorm, then I won't, because I don't want to be correcting thousands of roles. I only want to be correcting dozens of roles. Okay? And then hopefully in July, we can move this to an open beta for everybody. June, closed beta. July, open beta. For now, you can, even ones that are redeemable via Tokotas, you can still take them to the bank. It's fine. You don't have to wait. If they're like, no, I want this, go put it in a bank run. That's okay. And the hope is in July, it'll be open to everybody. Okay.
How will totem unlocks work with on-site roles/redeems? Example, turtle needing roles that give a companion. I think you would just link to the role index page like we're looking at here for those.
Yeah.
Will we eventually get the ability to track things like this? Perhaps, but that's a big data lift, and that's somebody's brain needs a cooldown project.
Yeah, that's someone's brain needs a cooldown. We're not looking to automate it right now, but you would just use these links, these index role links, as they currently have, because they can see the companions on them here.
If a Tokota with unredeemed items is transferred, are those items redeemable by the new owner?
No.
Roles belong to the owner?
Roles belong to the owner at the time of the roll. So if you transfer a Toko that has roles in progress, and they get rolled, then they belong to the new owner. They belong to whoever this owner field is, and this is set at the time the role is created based on who owned that Toko at that exact time. Okay? Now, should an activity roller be like, I don't think this was supposed to be for you? Possibly, but how do they actually know that? They don't. They just know someone turned it in with a form, all right? So keep that in mind when you're doing it, but the new owners cannot take the roles that the old owner has, even if they're unredeemed. They belong to the owner. However, they all belong to the Tokota, so the successes stay with the Toko, and you can't lose them.
Skipping out of order because that segues into this one. Small, but will there be an autofill of links for POTA prerequisites?
Isn't Ree working on something like that?
Yeah, Ree's working on incrementing the successes.
Yeah, Ree's working on something in that vein right now. I don't recall exactly where it's at, but now that the data's here, something will become available. I just don't think it's going to be soon. So you're talking for like phase 4 quality of life, and this is phase 2.
But I do think Ree said that's quite doable. So it's planned.
It's planned. I just can't give you a date on it.
Did you scream excitedly when you got the code done?
No. And it was a weird day. It was a weird day.
Yeah, that was yesterday, wasn't it?
It was the day before.
No, the day before.
And as you'll recall, the day before, I had no emotions in the world.
Yeah, I think you just blue screened.
I kind of blue screened. I won't get into all of it because it's TMI, but there was blood.
Jill.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently barely hearable again.
Well, yeah, I've got it like right here in my mouth.
I'm scooting. But hopefully they understood what the questions were, because...
I repeated most of them.
Oh, yeah, you did. Because you're smart like that.
All right, anything else?
I think we are good. Oh, wait.
Oh, someone's typing?
Well, Ree's typing. Ree will just ask us questions directly.
Yeah. Whew. Oh my gosh, guys, we have auto redeems. We're like almost a real game. That's not true. We're totally a real game. We're more of a real game than Pinocchio is a real boy.
What?
Mm.
Oh, Alpha Tracker Pull Successes is on update is done.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Ree.
Ree is a boss.
Yeah, she is. And just a boss, not just a boss babe. I feel like having met her, she'll appreciate the distinction. Okay.
You're just going to lord the fact that you're one ahead of me on meeting Toko people.
I am.
I'm going to the UK in September. Maybe I'll just do a general call of, okay, Toko people, be here. We're going to blow Jill's score out of the water.
I tried that, and I only got Ree. Okay?
Damn it.
Mm-hmm. And I moved around her schoolwork as best I could. All right. I think that's that. That's auto redeems. I'm so excited we're getting them for a Toko New Year, too. Ooh.
That was kind of your driving force, wasn't it?
Let's go with yes.
Yes.
Let's go with yes. Okay. Yeah, guys, I still got more to go. We're not done. There's so much here. All right. Moving on to the next section. Faction points. This section won't be too long. As part of working on the activity roller and the auto redeems, it began to highlight many things in the system, like REs and faction points that maybe aren't working the way that we want them to. I'm not a believer in tradition, like ever. So just because we've always done it some way doesn't mean we always have to do it that way. There just has to be a good reason to change it. And for faction points, they're kind of not working right now. They're a lot of work to redeem. And we did think that, okay, with a bunch of changes we're making, we'll be able to auto-redeem them. And as we got here and I discovered you could bank your faction points, which, hey, by the way, your faction points bank now from activities. We were like, how do we prevent these like 6 things from happening? And the answer was, I don't know. Which then turned into, hey, I think we seriously have to overhaul faction points and how they work. And Dunn was trying to be like, well, let's try and solve that problem for Saturday. And I was like, my dear, I just finished auto redeems. The fact that my brain is not melted out of my ears is a success in its own. We're not solving this problem. But she did spend like 4 hours trying to get me to solve this problem. And I went, no, I'm going to go and clean up crime scenes in this game. Okay, thanks. I'm just going to mindlessly mop blood up right now. I am not problem solving this.
Shout out, Crime Scene Cleaner. Very fun game.
Yeah, very relaxing, despite the fact that, no, actually, not despite, especially as you clean up blood and broken pieces of furniture and hide bodies in cars. Yeah, it was made for me. So we will be doing that. I don't think, it's not the December project. We'll be buckling down on figuring out what the changes are. They might be released next January, but I'm hoping to do them a little sooner. And it will likely change how faction points work. And based on my feedback from general chat, we may be removing them from activities and keeping them in purposeful actions, such as AOAs. Not that you don't do activities purposefully, it's just that you get them randomly versus the set amounts you get in other places. Okay? And if there's set amounts in other places, that I think may not unbalance us. Because one of two things is going to happen if we auto-redeem them for everybody. Either KS will never win again, or no one will ever be able to defeat them. And I don't know which is which just yet. So we're working on it. All right. So that's that. Yes, I will be doing feedback threads for them as soon as I have something to show you. Also, it does mean that how Dominant Faction and the raffle works, probably going to change a bit. I want to keep them competitive. Dunn doesn't want to keep them competitive. So we are kind of working between that right now. If we can't answer that question, we can't solve the problem. So we're working on it. And that's faction points. Okay. Let me think. Charity sale. Okay, this is a twofold conversation. Let's talk about the previous charity sale. I have a number for you all. In the previous charity sale, we raised $5,595 for Little Free Library. As of this month, Shopify has deemed we may have the money. Here's what happened. We maybe sell $200 worth of digital goods a month. And that's a big maybe. Some months we sell 50, some months we sell 300. But this is what our consistent business looks like. And then all of a sudden, in the charity sale month, because we moved everything onto the shop, we suddenly sold a significant, like a huge bump in sales. And their fraud department went, hold up. Now, another thing also happened on my domains that probably played into this, but it wasn't involved in this. We have both of our Shopifys on an account for like my book stuff and for Tokotas, and we left the domain for shop.one of them open like a effing idiot. There was originally a shop there. We took it down. We forgot to take the domain down, and I think it was Albanian.
No, it was somewhere where gambling is illegal, like really illegal.
So a country where gambling is super illegal set up shop to put their gambling site there, and that was all connected to my domains. And I got that gone in like 24 hours. I was like, oh, deleted it. It was gone. It was fine. But obviously that was flagged on my domain because I went to GoDaddy and was like, solve this problem now. And then on the other side, we suddenly had this influx of money, and the fraud department went, yeah, we're calling shenanigans there. And I had to basically deal with them, which was not a fast process. Could I have been more aggressive? Sure. But we weren't desperately in need of the money, and other things were going on. But basically, I had to deal with their fraud department to explain to them what was going on, what had happened, and then at some random point of the year, we are going to have a month like that. But no, we don't expect to be like that every month. And they were like, oh, okay. And I had to go through all of that, like, know your customer, trust the process. I work for a bank, so I very much understood what had happened, which is why I didn't get mad at them. But it was a process to get them to understand, because nobody knows what an ARPG is if you're not playing an ARPG. And they finally went, okay, you did not scam people out of thousands of dollars. So we're not reporting you to the IRS. It was a whole thing where they're like, we may have to report this to IRS. I'm like, but it's not a scam. The IRS will actually understand this. Just talk to them. They'll tell you about this. So we went through it all, and they finally said, hey, cool, this was not fraud. And I was like, beautiful. Can I have my money now? We are moving the money into a specific bank account. Part of this process is I did have to get a CPA. He's super cool. Like, if you're needing a CPA for like independent authoring or creative small businessing, like, he had to figure out what an ARPG was.
But he did the research.
He did. He really did. He was like, okay, I'm going to learn this, because he had to figure out what he is. He's also thinking that Toko should maybe be a nonprofit, a charitable nonprofit. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, you guys. He's like,
Are not for profit at all.
it's like, it's your most profitable business that you make zero profit on. And I was like, yeah, I don't take a paycheck here. He's like, yeah, which is why we might want to consider being a nonprofit, especially because you're doing all these charitable donations throughout the year. I was like, not a lot, just one. He goes, it's enough. It's like, okay. So we're working that out with him. And one of the things is that we need to move our bank account. The bank account that backs Toko's is mine, which is fine. I give, obviously, other dads do not have access to it, but they have access to all of the places our money flow through except my personal account. So they can see if any money goes in or out, and that's my checks and balances. We are now going to take that and move it to something called Relay, which is a safer business thing. It allows me to better manage our money. It'll allow our CPA to help us better manage our money. Basically, it just ensures we won't commit any tax fraud, okay? Which is kind of the goal. Goal 1, no tax fraud. Goal 2, cover all of our expenses. Goal 3, I don't have a goal 3. Donate more money to charity. I don't know. There's no profit here. So that happened. Our money has been held up. I didn't want to scare people, so I didn't tell you until I had more information on it. Well, there's your more information. I did something really stupid getting an EIN, and we'll have to call them on Monday and solve that problem. And then our Relay bank account will be set up, and then everything will move into that. And then I can do our charitable donation. Okay? But that's how much it is. That's what's going on. You know, I believe in transparency. I needed to be able to tell you what was happening and going forward before I just told you about the mess. Because, you know, it's not the first time I've been suspected of a crime. It's okay. We're all good here.
That is so ominous, and you know these are recorded.
Yeah, but it's not that story's not a secret story.
Oh, Blood and Tears.
Yeah, Blood and Tears is not a secret story.
Okay, but stop segueing. You still have so many bullet points. You can go tell it in Gen Chat later.
All right. If you want to know about that one time that I was suspected of being a domestic terrorist, ask me in Gen Chat.
God, Jesus, chill.
Mm-hmm. So, that's what's happening with the previous charity raffle. Let's talk about 2025. This year has been rough, you know, in general. And with the current state of the economic world, I am very hesitant to do a USD sale this year. Let's call a tariff. Like it happened, and yeah, it's not a big deal to us because we're not dealing in a lot of those goods. We already don't make a lot of profit on our physical goods.
I guess we possibly could see a very real increase on print on demand things, but those are already more or less priced at cost.
Yeah, they more are. So we may have to put our prices up. We're only going to... Can you all hear me? They can hear me. They just can't hear you.
I mean, obviously not in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's
just you. I guess maybe we...
back.
All right, whatever. Sorry about that, everybody. Random. The podcasts are cursed. They just really are. Like, we never lose internet except when we're doing these podcasts. Okay. So, as I was saying, the state of the world, what's going on. The only reason we'll ever put our prices up is because the print on demand prices go up. We don't make a lot of money on them. Those shirts and all that were never there for us to make money. They're just there for you guys to have fun.
Because Nagi is the best ever, and Tina knocked him out of the park.
Yeah, we get lots of cool art out of people, and we put it up there. We don't put a ton up because we don't sell a ton. So if we're not selling it, I'm not investing tons of time in it. It is what it is. It's not because we're trying to make money. We're not making money that way. It's purely because if no one's buying it, it's a lot of effort. And yes, the digital sale prices would have no reason to go up. But with everyone's economic uncertainty, I don't really know if we can justify asking you for money right now. So I kind of don't want to. That's what's going on with the charity sale for this coming year. That's why you haven't heard me announce anything. If the entire community hits back and says, no, I absolutely want a charity sale this year. I demand a charity sale this year. Okay, but unless there's some grand public outcry from the community demanding a USD sale, I'm probably not going to run one this year. Okay? And that's where that stands. The raffle's going to be about that, so keep your idea in your head. And you know what? I'll just kick the raffle off right now. Raffle Discord raffle podcast raffle channel. The question this year or this time is, what are your thoughts on a sale this year? So please go and drop it in there. That's where I want you to put it. You know how I feel. I don't really think we should do it because of the state of the world, and asking people for money while the price of everything increases isn't really a fair thing to do. Toko's is a luxury. Yes, it's a good place for our brains. It's a beautiful, wonderful, giving community, but I don't want people to feel like they have to be giving money to whatever charity we're doing while they're trying to feed their family, right? While they're doing what they do. And I know lots of people are losing benefits all over the place. And yes, we have international people, but don't think you're immune. I was in Scotland when the tariffs hit and the insanity that ensued over there for the same thing.
I work in logistics. It's hitting everywhere.
Yeah. Den's in logistics. She is seeing the weekly up and downs of all of this. So, like, we're just trying to be aware of the situation and not tone deaf to it. Okay? However, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to get your hands on charity decor. This was supposed to happen in April. It's a little on me that it didn't. It's a little on other things happening that it didn't. Anyone who thinks back to the April taming maybe noticed something about those Tokos, that maybe they each represented a previous charity that we had done. The Trevor Project, the International Cancer Research something, Little Free Library, and Ukraine. There's Toko themed on each of them. What we were supposed to do is announce, once one of them tamed, is that we are turning on we're turning on a system. Basically, we're going to make it that you can now donate to any one of those charities at any point during the year and send us proof of your donation in a howl. There is an entry in there that says charity now. It's charity donation or something of that nature, but it says charity. It's very easy to see. Those will be assigned to Alcestia. She will verify that you've donated $5, $10, whatever, and then she'll put those charity tokens into your bank, and you can use them in the charity shop to buy any decor that you want. Any of this charity stuff. So if you want more of the book dragons, you can do that. You want more of the Ukraine backgrounds, you can do that. You can go in there and spend the charity tokens on the charity items for donating to any one of these charities throughout the entire year. We're just kind of moving the middleman out of the process. We're not going to donate in your name. You go donate, send us proof, we give you charity tokens, you go spend the charity tokens in our store. This, I'm giving credit where credit's due. This is Dunn's. She brought this to me, I want to say like last November. And we went back and forth, and it wasn't about, oh, well, they couldn't do our profit. We don't make any money on that. Any money for charity, the entirety of it goes to the charity, and we pay the taxes on it out of our profit. So that was never an issue. It was the amount of work it could be on people. So we spent 2 months of me being like, I don't know if we want to take this on. It's going to be super manual, and we're trying to do away with manual. And then she took it to the managers, and there was a little back and forth there. And then Alcestia stepped up and said she would just do it. And I was like, but you already have too much to do. And she's like, I don't care. I want to do this anyway. So it'll probably be Donna and Alcestia. But they've stepped up to say that they'll handle the manual process, and they're both very trustworthy about this stuff. So if you donate, send us the howl. We just need some proof you did it. And then away we go. We will put the charity tokens in there. So feel free to keep donating on your own and getting that decor for doing it. And that's the Trevor Project, Ukraine.
We'll get links on the page.
And you can donate all year round. Keep that bright Toko hope burning. We'd appreciate that, and we will happy to give you decor items. And if you donate to the Trevor Project but you want the Ukraine stuff, cool. It's not the point. You can have whatever stuff you want for donating to whatever you want of those 4 charities. Okay. Questions on the charity sales stuff. I'm sure I'll have to answer for my fraud. So.
How much money to charity token conversion? It's 1-to-1, isn't it?
It's 1-to-1. Anything else?
Don't see anybody typing.
Yeah, I mean, I was fairly honest with them.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good? Okay. Well, now you know everything that happened. Allow me to repeat it. As soon as we get the Rayleigh bank account sorted out and get Shopify to put our money in there, it is $5,595 to Little Free Library. That will be our charity donation, I guess, of this year, even though it was for last year. Okay? Cool. Shop will be open with all the items. I think that's everything.
Oh, we didn't address the cakes.
Oh, was I supposed to?
I guess we could tell them what that's used for. Somebody clued in very quickly about what they are.
Oh, did they?
Or at least what they correspond with.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't... Did you tell them?
No.
You didn't tell them?
They said it looks an awful lot like the base coats.
Oh. Yeah, because it is.
More bando treats.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who pays attention to Art Stand would have seen you calming the stand mixer and things for this.
Yes. They were like, what was it they were trying to name it? Cake Tool TM? And I was like, no.
Okay, first of all...
It might have been your fault, but the answer was still no.
It was all caps because it was supposed to be a placeholder name.
You know better.
I know.
You know better. That is how the jokes start and things get named.
Oh, God, what am I responsible for now? Wolf Law, SSOO.
Yeah, Wolf Law, Law Wolf, SSOO.
God.
Wolf Law is the gang, and Law Wolf is the lawyer's office. Someday I'll make Tokopedia pages for them.
You would have to write them, which means it'll never happen.
You want to be sure about that? What about next time I'm feeling a little spiteful? Right? Okay. So I'm going to go through the next section, and when I finish the next section, that's when we're going to call the raffle.
We have one more.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Will more mouse pads be added to the online store? It's currently sold out. So actually, I have the answer here. The original mouse pads that we set up, Printful is no longer carrying. They've switched to a new mouse pad, so we have to go redo the setup process on that. And they are different dimensions, which means I need to figure out what changes we have to make that happen.
Yeah. So yes, we will do that. It's very annoying that as soon as we finally got a mouse pad, they switched it. Is what it is. But yeah, we'll do it. Now that you mentioned it, Dunn had told me about it like 3 or 4 days ago when we were dealing with that whole send owl thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, I forgot that was this month.
Yeah. Comes in threes, okay? And that was number 3. There's a joke on the admin team that big problems come in threes. Because it's true. Okay? It's very true. That was 3 of 3. Thankfully, we handled it in an evening. Okay. So, shop overhaul. I've vaguely spoken of this before, saying it's something that we wanted to do.
Well, the shopkeepers released last fall in advance of this rather than getting held up.
Yeah, they did, but there's more to it. Do you want me to explain this, or are you explaining this?
Maybe I'll let you explain it so I can correct you.
Here you go.
Wow.
Lead in, speak to the mic.
Okay, so the shop overhaul. You all saw the new shopkeepers who went live, I want to say, was it last September or so? Locke did us lovely art for them, and that's part of an overhaul that's been slated for a little over a year, but gets pushed because it's heavy code requirements to do. And obviously, our coders have been elsewhere. What am I doing?
Telling them what this is.
Oh,
Currency
yes.
exchange.
Currency exchange. Okay. So in order to do the shop overhaul, we're having to re-establish the pricing in all the stores to make it more uniform across, which means we had to come up with currency exchange rates for TT into Brawl points, into Stellar Relics, into Tribe points, into Toko treaties, not yuckies, whoops, to make sure that everything is equitably priced across all the shops, so that you're not spending 300 tokens on a heart when those tokens are really like 3 times more expensive. I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all.
You're fine. Keep going. This is just meeting presentation skill practice for you. Go for it.
This is cutthroat. So, what's up on the screen right now is a list of items that we used as our baseline for determining these exchange rates. Elemental hearts are the big ones. There's obviously like soul pool water, as you'll see, is highlighted with yellow. Because part of this, in determining the pricing of this, is acknowledging that soul pool water is too expensive at 50k TT. In order to bring it in line, because soul pool water in the shops like Stellar Relics and Brawl Points is more accessible and more reasonably priced than it is in pure TT, because its price balance was out of whack. You're so ominously quiet. This is weird, Jill.
I'm just letting you go. I'm making it so that they can use like gifts in that channel right now.
Oh, I see. So soul pool water's TT purchase price will be dropping to 20,000 as part of this rebalance, and that will be, did we say we're kicking that in June? That'll be effective June. In the future, it'll probably be moving out of the trading post to one of the other TT stores, so the coupon may not affect it in the future, but for the time being it will. So it's now priced roughly in line with a large item, which felt appropriate.
You're good.
You're giving me side-eye.
Okay. If you haven't noticed, Dunn is an anxious little snowflake. You are. I was literally looking at my phone and I'm somehow giving you side-eye. I'm looking at my phone trying to figure out how to turn GIFs on in the podcast chatter channel for them. I don't know if I succeeded or not, but I tried. And you think I'm giving you side-eye. Well, I'm just letting you explain your thing.
I don't know if I'm explaining this at all well.
Are you all confused? Well, does anyone say they're confused?
Gifts are working.
Oh, glorious. See, nope.
Oh, no, Seer, what is that?
Yeah, see, they're fine. You've streamlined currency. They understood it.
Okay, so this is the currency rebalance. One of the first effects here, oh my goodness gracious, the gift storm.
Yeah, let them have fun.
Okay, so one of the first effects you'll see is Soul Pool Water's purchase price being reduced. It is probably not getting a sell back still, because then we run into how common it is in activities and having to balance that. So that's...
Let me remove the probably from the sentence. It's not getting a sell back.
But it'll be cheaper, so there's that. All of these shops are going to get looked at for their inventory. You can see here in the screenshot there's green highlighting on this. That identifies if that item is available in that particular shop or not. So we're trying to make sure that everything is available, if it's available for TT here and available for TP here, like have things available across all the shops. And then the other part of this that won't be in place for June, did we say we were going that June, or is that July?
I said you had to do it in July because they're going to be less thrilled about that part.
Okay. Companion sell back rebalance is happening too. Oh yeah, you have to share screen that.
I don't have to share. Well, I can. You know what? I'll share screen it. That's fine.
So, sellbacks for companions have been highly inconsistent, is a good word for it.
Arbitrary. I use arbitrary.
Arbitrary is a better word.
Yeah.
There's no reason that black cats should sell for the same amount as a beaver. Period. Doesn't make any sense. So we're looking at all of the companions and reassigning them into groups of rarity based on the power of their effect, and that rarity is then setting a new purchase price, which will be used for pricing them in the shops, and a new sellback value. That includes giving things like festive plushies a sellback. You know what? I don't know if my thing is updating.
I don't think it is.
All right, let me refresh. Welcome to one of Dunn's gigantic ass Toko sheets.
I would just like to point out she swore first on this podcast.
Did I?
Yep.
Oh no.
I'm being spiteful about swearing, but not anything to do with you guys. Swear.
Do they have a sellback? Because when I pulled them in the system, they did not.
What has a sellback?
The festive plushies. Or maybe I changed their things.
You might have already changed it.
Okay, I know. So they've got a 1K. Either way, deity plushies, all of that are getting sellbacks. I'm so sorry for the dead air, Jill. I wasn't prepared for this.
Okay. I'm going to come and save you. I think you did great.
Ugh.
What? No, I think you did great. I'm just preparing you for becoming a manager later this year.
Oh, you mean at work?
Yeah, work. You're already a manager in Toko's.
Unfortunately.
And if we were to promote you even higher, we'd have to find another human, and then there would be 5 of us.
No, thank you.
Exactly. And everyone would still say I only have 2 votes because they don't pay enough attention to how much we fight.
Anyone who has watched this, half the time is, well, we're talking about this, and I think this, but Dunn thinks the opposite.
Right?
Or, well, I think this, but Jill thinks the opposite.
Mm-hmm. I mean, about REs. No, not REs. Faction points in general. All right. So as you can see on Dunn's lovely sheet here, things are going to change. In June, they will stay the same for companions. If one of these is, are you going to make this public? Are you going to make a read-only version of this public?
I'll make a read-only version.
All right, a read-only version of this will be public. Some will have gone down. Some will have gone up in their sellback price. It's happening in July. So if there's something that you got that you're like, well, I want to sell it at the higher price, do it in June. Simple enough. This is part of the shop overhaul, though. There is lots of work still involved in this. It's Dunn's mid-year project that she's working on. I'm coming in, obviously, and helping out. Once these are set, then we have to build like 6 new stores and do all of this.
6 might be too few.
She said too few, not too many.
Yeah. No,
So-
because I added 2 stores.
Because you added 2 stores. So we'll be working on that. We'll be having cleaner looking stores, more diverse stores. Why? Because then I can do more with it. The trading post is not going away, but the trading post won't be the end-all be-all. That does mean that your trading post coupon will not be as powerful as it previously was. Don't worry about it. There will be other coupons.
Also, to clear up, because this happened on the admin team when I showed them this, just because something has a purchase price doesn't mean it's necessarily in a shop to buy.
I will repeat that for you as well. Just because something has a purchase price does not mean it will be in that shop. It's just that it was easier to leave all of the columns on all of them rather than Xing some of them out. If it's highlighted in green, it's intended to be in that shop. If it's not highlighted, it's not intended to be in that shop. Okay? So, this is your 1-minute warning on the raffle. Questions?
Are new companions like Luna, Moth, Iguana going to get a sellback price? They don't have it currently. Yes, that was part of this.
Yes. Yes, they will.
All companions will have... all companions will.
I think all companions will.
There are some, like, pet rocks don't get a sellback. Those are your collectibles.
They're Vanity TT sinks. They don't get a sellback.
And I think so far I have not assigned any sellback. Oh, charity companions don't have. A lot of the slotless ones are in the air on if they get one or not. Because, like, somebody might be really upset to sell a dino for, like, 100 TT to the trading post.
Yeah,
So just remove that.
limited edition ones, though, probably won't.
Limited edition is what I should call that category.
Yeah, they're limited edition. You only get them through very specific things, and most of them require you to donate to charity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then will decor talismans be getting a sellback too? Yes, that was also part of this.
Yes, yes, it will.
Shred all your Aga talismans. Keep all your Nagi ones.
Okay, whatever makes you happy.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Man, I'm so sorry. That was a terrible section of the podcast.
It wasn't a terrible section of the podcast. Stop apologizing unless I don't say something horrific.
Hi.
Yeah. I live with this woman. She apologizes 3 times a breath.
Incorrect.
Not incorrect.
Okay, am I supposed to be closing this raffle?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Boom.
What are we raffling? Or am I supposed to go count and roll you X number of people?
Yeah, do that, and then I'll tell them what they're getting. I'll figure it out in the interim.
Jeez.
I said I'd figure it out. Okay, and whew. All right. We're doing good here. We're doing good. Oh wow, I'm looking at the notes that you left here. Sorry for that dead air for a second. My brain rebooted on our new inventories, rotating items. If we want to chat, I don't know. Otherwise, promise a podcast. Whoa, that's a doneism.
I forgot I wrote that.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I don't read agendas verbatim most of the time.
Oh, God. You know what? Actually, I know there will be a podcast for the new stores when they're ready.
Yeah, when they're ready, I'll include them in a podcast.
Oh, my eyes.
Yeah. So while Don counts that up, I'm going to move on to the section called non-admin work. Basically, we know that there are tons of guides that are slightly out of date. There's little changes that need to be made in Tokopedia, like we're aware. We are. Anyone who's been in Tokopedia knows that it's all in HTML. So it can be a little daunting for newer admins who actually have the time to do it. And more senior admins tend to have more to do. So it gets lost in transition. Those people who are better than new admins, but not as busy as senior admins, who's doing it right now? They're like,
Midi's been doing some fixes.
Midi's been doing some. I think Shasagro was doing some as well. Like people who are in that transition from I'm not totally new at being an admin and I know what I'm doing and I'm not totally swamped in work because I've been here for a year. Those people tend to make those fixes, little updates as they go. We teach them and train them. And yeah, there's more. And we know there's people who have ideas. There's an entire sheet dedicated to things that got put in the suggestion box that we need to fix.
Sheet's a generous term for me dumping links at you in Discord.
Yeah. Well, you put them in a document this time, remember?
Oh, did I?
Oh, no, you didn't. You just put...
that was December's.
That was December's. You just put section headers on them in my Discord. So, like, we know. So there has been some appetite for a concept of non-admin work, which would be us giving a few trusted individuals, like, I shouldn't say names, should I?
I gotta go restart my count.
Okay.
Sorry.
So a few trusted individuals, Tokopedia access. Not admin access, just Tokopedia, to go and make those updates and those fixes. We would create a channel inside of Discord for people to report them and then allow basically community members, trusted community members who actually have the HTML skills required to go and make those changes, to clean up the guide, to fix a misspelling. Gosh knows there's how many misspellings if Jill made the guide for it. Gardening. And we're gonna do that. We know how to do it. It's purely, is me or Ree going to get the time first, and then we will be putting out feelers. Likely we will reach out to people more so than ask for applications, though, because we already have a decent feel of who we'd be comfortable giving that access to, and there are people who have been here for 2 months who would be very excited to help, and I'm sure you would be. You would require too much time in training. And I don't want to have to make you feel bad by telling you no. So I'm going to reach out to people who I already know could do the job and ask them if they would like it first. That's the reasoning behind it. I'll just be honest with you all about it. I don't want to have to discourage you by saying, no, I'm going to give it to this person who's been here 5 years, who knows everything already, and then just have them do this. They won't have any other admin work. They have no Discord powers. They'll just be able to edit Tokopedia, to update guides, to make fixes, and in maybe a few cases, create some guides that people have been looking for and hoping for. Okay? Okay. Cool. That's the non-admin work section of the podcast. You know who you are.
All right. You have 44 people. How many am I rolling?
Wow, that's a lot of people. A lot of you all showed up for this.
Also, there was a suggestion about a prize.
Oh, was there?
Of Aurorium starter slots, and given next month, maybe that's a good idea.
All right, we'll raffle 3.
Okay.
3 Aurorium starter slots. Oh, yeah, the Aurorium starters are coming next month, probably.
Oh, I forgot to put that bullet on there.
Yeah, we had it on there, and then it got moved, and then it got... Oh, no, here it is. Toko New Year's. Boom.
Oh, whoops.
It's literally the next thing I was about to say. I looked down a section. Yeah.
Well then, okay. I'm going to need a minute to count these.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I'm going to take advantage of you being distracted. You remember, y'all, I told you there was one PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, yeah, basically PowerPoint. There was one podcast slide that was going to look different than the others.
This is not fair because I am counting 1, 2, 3. Shit.
And it is. You can tell I did it and not done. I just stole her format, kind of. But then I still, I think, got the glow wrong. That's not the point. So let us move into the final section of our podcast, Toko New Year's. And what does that mean this year? This year, a lot of stuff. And I don't even have all of it on here. Oh my gosh, I forgot how many bullet points there were here. Holy crap. Okay, first things first, Aurorium starter contest results. There were 49? 48 entries?
There are a lot of lines on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, there was almost 50 entries. They have taken time to go through, especially when we intended to only have like 8 new ones, maybe less. I've got the feedback from everyone. I think almost everyone. I don't think I have Daph's feedback, but I do have Flicka's, and they're both breeding managers, so.
So you have, from the breeding team specifically, we've got other lists, but from the breeding team specifically, we have Flicka, Ella, and Burke, those two do balance the rollers for us too.
Yes, so we think we know the shortlist, and they'll be releasing with June, Toko New Year's. They'll be releasing with Toko New Year's. It's very, very exciting. All right, moving from that, I have picked a theme for this Toko New Year's. There's usually some level of a theme. It'll be like, looking at the year in retrospect, new builds, new mains, the path ahead. Last year, it was like the future of Tokotas was the theme, where we were talking about these promises that we were working on and that we had no intention of shutting down, and we were always looking to go a little bit bigger, a little bit crazier, that we were going to have another build circle. Like, that was last year. This year, the theme that I have picked for us is the creatives who made us. So this means we're going to have a little bit more of a retrospective year. And I did pick the word creatives on purpose. Have you got my winners?
Yes, I do.
All right, let me announce my winners so that I don't have to get sidelined on it. Okay. So the winners of an Aurorium starter slot are Lodo Blue, Allison, and Io Necta. Congratulations, you have an Aurorium starter slot, and there will be new shiny Aurorium slots in Toko New Year's.
I will go do the announce of it and then go deposit it.
Thank you.
Also, scolding for this background. This wasn't even in my stash folder. How did you have this?
Because I never delete anything. I'm a coder. And you're too late. I already timed it. This shit's dropping in the folder right now. Shadow release on podcast of a new background prior to Toko New Year's. You're welcome, everybody.
I cannot even with you.
I really hope you like that background. Because I also like that background. It just seemed appropriate to release a new UT on a podcast that Dunn was aware of and then release an entire background that
Wait,
she
is
had.
this payback because of my...
Yes, it is. It is. You held it up for a month. I told you. May might as well have been Jill's feeling spiteful month. Okay? Not at you guys. Not at you. Not even remotely at all of you. Various people in my life attempted to wreck my calm, so I have responded. This is Dunn's revenge. My revenge on Dunn.
I can't even be mad, I guess.
Yeah. The system will kick it into the folder relatively soon here. It's too late. It's on my computer, so she would have to reach across me and attack the podcast to get it. So, too late.
That's really dramatic. Oh my god, that's why you put me so off.
Yeah. Do you not see this physical wall of my shoulder keeping you from the computer for the last 30 minutes? Okay. Cool. Now let's get back to what I was saying. The theme, the creatives who made us. And I did say that I picked the word creatives on purpose because I don't want to just say the artists that made us. I do have a belief that writers are artists too, but they have their own label, and coders are creatives of math and logic, I guess, but still creatives. And I want to encompass all of those people. So yes, of course, this does encompass me, but I'm not a one-woman show. We've been through this. It's just you hear my voice all the time. So in Toko's, we have illustrators and line artists and painters and pixel artists and colorists. I think that's the correct way to say it. And we have writers, and we have novel writers and adventure writers and quest writers and canon location writers, Tokopedia writers. We have coders, people who build the HTML for our Tokopedia, people who suffer through DA's endless updates to build our front pages and journal screens, journal skins that we use. We have icon artists. We have in-depth coders. We have database specialists. We have all of these creatives that built Tokotas. We live on their backs. Our game is on their shoulders, and it's not any one person. Toko's is not Jill. Toko's is not Daff. It's not Cray. It's not the manager team. It's not the admin team. Toko's is the community. It always has been, and we've been better about giving that gratitude lately, but let's have this year be about celebrating the people who did the work to get us where we are. So the theme of this year is the creatives who made us, and that goes all the way back to, I think their name was originally Queen Cryptid, and then it was Carnival Art, who did our original line art. I think Anali did the original sketch, Carnival Art did the lines, and Anali did that first background that kicked off Tokotas. So we have been digging deep into Toko history to find all those names of people who did things for us. Like the person who made the first trophies, and we'll find what we can. Obviously, I get credited with the site, but there are other coders there. Haru, Ree, Secret. I was talking about it earlier. We only have auto redeems because those other women did big work for us to get us here. And that's the same with the line arts. We wouldn't be Tokos without that line art. We wouldn't be Tokos without these backgrounds or this item art or any of the things we do. Would we be Tokos if we didn't have someone doing all these quests every month? Someone who's building these quest chains for us? That's Alcestia. It's a bunch of people who make Tokos Tokos. And this year we want to celebrate them by name if we can and talk about all of the awesome things that have already been built for Tokos. And that's my goal for the theme this year. I always write a news post, a fairly long one, my year in retrospective or my look ahead to the future, whatever I'm doing. I always write that, and there's always some poor sacrificial lamb who does I think I want to say this, draft, and then I rewrite everything they wrote. I appreciate you. You are also someone who ensures that Tokos keeps moving forward because I needed someone to start it so that I could go, oh yeah, this is what I wanted, and finish it. So whoever you are this year, I already love you. I just don't know who you are yet. But I'm going to write that up. I'm going to find all of this. Let's talk about these people. Let's celebrate these people who did all this work to get us to year 11. And that's the goal for the theme this year. And that'll also be, of course, we're going to do things like show your heart and all of the usual things too. But I want to double down on this theme, and hopefully all of you will be on board to do this with me and my crazy. And if you know of someone who did something, then let me know. And let me do my usual PSA when it comes to this. I am fully aware that in the first 3-ish years of Tokos, people did not get paid for their art appropriately. I know. I have been resolving those issues for the last 7 years I've been in power. If you know of someone who didn't get paid by Tokos from those original years, or even if they didn't get paid by me and I'm just completely and utterly unaware they haven't been paid, let me know. Step forward. I will ask the due diligence question that I have to ask of, did you get paid? And when you answer no, we're going to solve that problem. We've done it for plenty of people in the past. That's how we have our cool 6 factions. That's how we have all of these things that we have today. And we have this beautiful community of artists who come and show up every time I show up an art stand needing something, right? So if you're aware of someone who didn't get paid, that we have done wrong by them, encourage them to come to us. We're not going to bite. We want to solve the problem. We want to pay them. Okay, so that's my PSA on that, based on my theme. And yes, of course, we'll have Show Your Heart this year. Let me see. Oh, so many things on this list. We will be updating the release tracker like we do every year. I think Alcestia is already on finding all of the releases. Additionally, Cray and Daff have got some ideas, one of which is they want to put a link to the release tracker on the front page. They were deep diving through it over the last couple weeks as we were talking about it, and they were having a wonderful nostalgic moment, and we're like, we should put this on the front page, a link to it. And I went, sure, I'm down with that. Additionally, we're probably going to add like a little summary section at the beginning of every era to talk about that era. So maybe Cray will write that. Sometimes she makes us all cry. Maybe I will write it. We'll find out. But we're going to add those summary sections into the release tracker. And I'm probably going to be stuck writing them, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let me see. What else? Oh, this is going to be so out of left field. Stories of Tokotas Volume 1 hardcover is finally live. Yeah, it's on the website. Done, tested, and bought a copy the other day. It's functional. We had an issue with a band of color at the top, and Cray resolved that for us. So we have pushed those live, so you can get it in the ebook, because let's be fair, we're all a little hating on Amazon right now. So you can get it in ebook, paperback, and hardcover on the website, the same when you get the Colors of Tokotas. We will dump the links somewhere for you, but they're already on the front page if you want to go. So if you want your hardcovers, that's where you get it. We're doing them for $14.99. We did have to make them a little more expensive than the paperback for obvious reasons, but we didn't gouge that price up too high. Retail told us we should have made them $19.99, but I said no thank you. So that's where those are. They're on there. And we do... have the ability to print in Canada right now, which might hopefully decrease shipping costs for people in Canada. Australia, we're still working on you because you're our other outlier. There is supposedly in Australia printing.
They don't have color yet.
But they don't have color yet, and that's the problem. They can only black and white, and ours has color. So we'll let you know when that changes, and when it changes, we'll toggle it on so that people in Australia can buy things without having to deal with an international price. Okay? That moves into a little bit of sad news, I guess. Volume 2 is canceled for the moment. We just didn't get enough stories. Simple as that. We didn't get enough. Those people who put a story in have already got their raffle prize. I say raffle prize. They already got their participation prize. They get to keep it. No issue. And if we try a volume 2 in a year or two, you can turn that story in again. You don't have to write a new one. You can turn it in. Yeah, you're going to get a double prize. I don't care. Like this one, we just didn't get enough stories. As simple as that. So I can't make a volume 2 happen. We'll try again in a year. It's not a big deal. T3 Adventures. Oh gosh, there was a lot of information on this.
Oh, you didn't move Ree's notes from
I didn't move.
Chat. Hold on.
Yeah, can you go find Ree's notes for me, please? Okay.
Oh no, Ree gave us screenshots and everything.
Yeah.
Can we go copy this into our thing?
No, just go take those Gyazos and drop them in the podcast chatter. So, Tier 3 Adventures, we're moving to a new... Whoop, 1 second, everybody. Apologies, 1 second. Children, what do you do? So, Tier 3 will be moving to a new loot system with themed drops, mushroom, grass, rocks, food, things of that nature. And each now has a chance for common, uncommon, and rare, with better things depending on the difficulty and the consequences of failure. So the more difficult a roll is, the more likely you're going to get a more rare result. Not guaranteed, just more likely. So we're putting more thought into that beyond the random and kind of arbitrary way that we did it before. Previously, we were just ensuring so many of each type of role was present. Now, in conjunction with doing that, we're trying to formalize the loot a little bit better too. So that's what's going on for all of those. Ree has been hard at work. I remember putting a activities section into the API backend piece, and it was beautiful and lovely. And I'd seen the activities APIs and was like, ooh, wild. And now I can see a lovely structured folder too. And I'm like, yep, these are cleaning up real nice. Let me see. We're in final proof right now. So we're testing all the paths, the phases. It functionally works. There just might be some typos. So those should be releasing with Toko New Year's. Some tier 3 adventures that should be really, really cool for everybody. Oh yeah, that alpha tracker thing that she said. Oh, and then this last piece about T3. So for adventure drops, I'm reading.
I think that's for this. That might be for us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. It's fine. We're at 2 hours. We'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay. For adventure drops, the choice path are color coded.
I'm pretty sure. You know, this is for us to do dev work on.
Oh yeah, no. It's color coded for us, so we can see it. It should be good. The drop rates have just been tweaked. That's all that's happening. It's very cool. Yeah, you know, whatever.
Just reading
It's fine.
admin notes out on a podcast.
I always do.
I know you do.
Okay. Reading admin notes. Of course I do. Don't be ridiculous. I'm wild like that. Let me see.
That's right. This is the screenshot for pulling the alpha successes through.
Oh, and here's the alpha successes screenshot. We did mention that earlier.
So sorry, Ree. You set these up so nicely for us.
Look, Ree is used to me. In the land of engineering, there are coders. There's 3 types. There is mathematicians, musicians, and engineers. Ree is clearly an engineer. I mean that in a very nice way. I really do. Like, she is organized. She makes plans. She plans it out. She does it, and everything comes out beautiful and organized. That's how engineers work. Mathematicians have 0 plan. It's going to sound familiar, isn't it? Mathematicians have 0 plan. They go and they start. And if it doesn't work, they start over and they keep going until they get to where they are. Mathematicians and musicians live in the spot between where they have just enough plans in place to go and the flexibility to get there in the end. Okay? Ree is clearly an engineer because of all of the beautiful things that she does. I am clearly a mathematician because I don't even put comments in my code.
I can tell when Ree's been on a page because there's lovely comments for me to follow.
Yeah. When there's none, that was probably Jill's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Secret lives closer to engineer, but closer to musician, like in between those two. Okay? It's just how it is. And then back to Toko New Year. Oh my gosh, there's still more here.
Is there?
Yes.
What do we have? Oh, Seer. Oh no. Seer, have you never looked?
Yeah.
0 comments. Absolutely none.
Yeah. I think there's maybe 2 in auto redeems. I think there's maybe 2 in auto redeems actually. Hold on. I need not you. I need tracker. Yeah, I have one that says calc total redeems.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh god.
That's the entirety of the comments. Oh, hold on. No. Hold on. There's a second. Convert string to list. Calc total redeems. Add to inventory.
Are you sure that's you and not Reed?
Yeah, no, this is me. This is me. There you go. I put a whole 3 comments in 163 lines of code. Yeah, I know. It felt like it should have taken more lines of code, but there are really clean 163 lines of code.
You're just making everybody cry.
Yeah. I mean, okay. You know, we all have bad habits, This is one of mine. Um,
Sorry. Oh, Discord chat is roasting you right now.
It's no, like this is one of my things, okay? My junior developers do to a degree love me. They think I'm wild and they think I'm weird, and they have had to debug with me, and they're like, "We don't understand how your brain gets from A to B." I'm like, "It just does." And so let me teach you how it did, and then next time you'll do that, and they all learn and they're great. And they know when I wrote something because they're like, "There's no comments here, and it did something that doesn't make sense, so I have to come and ask you why you did this." To which point I explain. And then Arun, beautiful, beautiful Arun, my workhorsiest of workhorse, goes and comments my code. He'll do it like 3 months later. He'll find something and be like, "This was Jill." And he'll put these comments in, and then he'll check them in. There are so many check-ins and commits in our database that are from Arun that just said commented Jill's code. And then my counterpart on the other team will see it and come around, and he'll be like, "Why didn't you put comments in that?" I'll be like, "I forgot." He's like, "How did you forget? You were writing it." And I was like, "You put too many comments in things, okay? There's a happy medium here." So it's just a stylistic difference, okay? But look, it is also strategic. Every time I get audited for code, you know what their biggest complaint is? A lack of comments. And now they feel like they did their job, and we don't have to rewrite the code base. It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
I don't think they agree. Oh, God. Oh.
All right. Ooh, I didn't think I'd be talking about code comments today, but here we go.
Oh, my God, Ree, that sounds so pedantic.
That's stupid. I'm going to read this for people coming later. See, I used to get review comments saying that my comments did not have correct full stop and then double space after them. And? That's a stylistic difference.
Ooh, yes. I want this. I will go get art for this.
Yeah. That's me. No comment coder. I teach people a lot of good things. I tell them add comments. Arun does it for me, okay? Arun just... He understands the messy part of me. And life is easier for everyone if he does it. And yeah, I know. I should be less lazy, but... It gives him commits too. All right, then.
I was just thinking we needed a new pet rock.
Oh, true. Okay, well, now that we've all learned the deep, dark secret that there's no comments from Jill and Tokos, or in bank code, like, it is what it is. I feel no shame for it. Other people care more than me. All right. Back to that agenda.
What is left on this agenda? This
Very
is a long one.
Yeah, very few things. Very teeny tiny things. A main build physical trait contest is coming for Toko New Year's. Yes, that's right. Warm up those creative brains of yours. It is your moment to pitch new builds, mains, and physical traits for Tokos.
We'll have a recap of everything that's pending in terms of the previous mains, because I think a lot of those are still slowly rolling out.
Yes, most of them are done. Regal is real far in the process. Highland is real far in the process. Fleece is running right now.
And then
Strand has been officially moved to someone else's plate, but it's in process. Well, it will be in process shortly. There will be Discord raffles. I don't know exactly how many or when, but
I do.
You do?
We have a lot of Tokopedia pages that need some lore.
Done does. So be prepared for lots of lore Discord raffles. Show your heart. Oh, I've taglined this. It's a big little deal. I know why I did it. I already spoiled it for you, but none of you caught it. And then, oh, Yeah, and then I dropped that background already. And more! It's just a bullet point that says, and more. Clearly, I got tired last night while writing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Toko New Year. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be fun. Let's find some good in all of the chaos that's going on right now. Whew. Okay. That was it. I did it. I got through everything on my agenda. Questions? Yeah, let me do that last call for questions.
And then we have to go troubleshoot a Switch.
And then I have to go troubleshoot a Switch. I was so close to not having to pause.
He didn't pick up that Switch once until now.
What?
He's just been on the iPad the whole time.
Dude, you woke me up for that this morning. Okay, I had a grand conniving plan, and I'm fully aware my child may someday hear this in the future. My husband went off to a gamer's garage sale at stupid early this morning. And then my kid came in and woke me up and was like, Daddy's gone. Can I play the Switch? Because he's crazy about Minecraft, which I'd rather he be crazy about Minecraft than Roblox. Other moms out there, you know what I'm talking about. Other dads out there, you probably know what I'm talking about. Any parent who doesn't, you need to go check your iPad and see what the heck's on there for Roblox.
Make sure your 4-year-old's not playing Squid Game.
Yeah, make sure your 4-year-old's not playing Squid Game. So, but I had this conniving plan. I was like, no, you can't have the Switch. You can have the Switch when Mama goes to do her podcast, because that'll entertain you for the entire time I'm on the podcast without issue. He forgot about the Switch. And now he's trying to get the Switch to work, and it's not working, but I'm in the middle of a podcast, so I can't troubleshoot it. 'Tis what it 'tis, but I got real close to not having a podcast interruption.
It's okay, I handled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't get the Switch working. I don't know why it's not turning on.
Is it dead?
No, put it in the docking station, and it doesn't seem like the HDMI cord is registering that it's there. I feel like he dropped it or something.
Oh, he dropped it last night. Don't you remember when he knocked it off the thing?
Oh, yeah. And then the Joy-Cons, it's like, please connect Joy-Cons, even though the Joy-Cons are connected to it.
Yeah, but are they clicked in?
Yeah, they're clicked in.
Yeah, we'll sort it out.
Yeah. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah, every little kid wants to play Roblox, though, and it's going to be a cultural milestone, so you have to figure out how to live with it, and that's what we did. And then he got crazy about Minecraft, and we were like, yes, Minecraft away. Blow up your towers with TNT. That's fine. He spawns so many monsters.
And he's undergoing the Toko rite of passage.
Yeah. Oh no, Annie! Welcome to the rite of passage. This is a common thing for everybody.
To the point that we put in the back of our books.
Yeah, if you read our first book, the author bio at the back literally says, and no, they're not a couple. Everyone goes through this at first. You're like, are Jill and Dunn the same person? It was more prevalent in previous times before you heard our voices and such. But it would be like, are Jill and Dunn the same person? That seems like a lot of work to be two people.
Who is at our door? Oh my god.
I don't know.
I'm going.
And then they assume that we are a couple, that we're married or we're engaged or we're girlfriends. No, we just besties. We have ruined so many people's one true Toko pairing because we're not. We're just besties. I'm married to a different man. Yes. We are sadly, well, not really. I don't find it sadly, but other people do. Sadly, we're just straight. So it is what it is, but it is still, it happens all the time. In fact, Lily, I love you. This comes from love. Lily found out reading our book. She was reading it. She got to the author bio. She got to the end, and then she came into chat, and she's like, I have wanted to know the answer to this forever, and I found it in the book, and I'm so happy I finally know, because she didn't want to ask. And I was like, aw, that's sweet. We don't get offended, but it's very sweet. And yeah, in your all's defense, we do kind of act like an old married couple, but that's just because we've been besties for so long. It really is. I totally understand why it happens. In fact, we used to go to, was it Tilted Kilt?
Oh, yes.
We used to go to Tilted Kilt every Tuesday after work and have a meal. And those girls were like, they're lesbians. 100% dedicated in that belief. That one time, another woman came with us because we were sorting out things about a roommate situation. And Dunn ordered a dessert, and she ordered dessert, and I didn't. And Dunn showed up with 2 spoons. We didn't ask for a spoon. They just showed up with 2 spoons. And we were like, yep, they totally think we're lesbians. And the 3 of the cashiers at Walmart think we are too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well,
we do the shopping together because millennials do shopping or do errands in packs.
that we do. And we also have my child with us. And they're like, oh, it's the lesbians. I'm like, that's okay. Totally normal thing.
Oh, Tilted Kilt is like Hooters, but with
Mini kilts.
mini kilts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that kind of place. It's a bar.
It's a bar.
But they had really good pasta.
They had great pasta. They don't have it anymore. It's very sad. It was one of my favorite pastas. That's why we went to Tilted Kilt every Tuesday. All right.
Okay, we did have questions. Also, you have a sad child because he went to the door without me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, nope, we don't open the door for people.
Okay.
Where is your sense of our... Oh, God, we are so intensely millennial.
We are intensely millennial. We are right in that millennial pack of people, okay? It's Toko's that keeps me saying young, and I learn slang. Like, I think it was based on a podcast. Someone said that, and I was like, interesting. And then I went and I had to do research on what it was, and I was like, oh, let me use that correctly now.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no, they've got a point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah.
To be fair, it wasn't about the pretty girls wearing, like, low-cut skirts and stuff or whatever. It was about the pub pasta and trivia night.
And trivia night.
But I don't know if that's actually helping our cause either.
It's fine. Like, we don't mind. We don't get upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. But I'm happily married to a man. When I showed my wedding pictures to the admin team, like, legit 3 of them thought that Dunn was my husband. They had thought that they had misgendered Dunn for years and that it was my husband. I was like, no, it's this one. This picture of this woman over here, this one picture of this woman over here, that's Dunn. That's my husband. They were like, oh. Conspiracy begun. Okay.
Okay, we did have questions. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, let's get those questions. We got a vision appointment.
Oh, yeah, we do have a vision appointment. Oh, yeah, we got appointments together, too. Shit.
Well, yeah, if I'm already driving to that side of town. You might as well come with. In packs.
Okay, questions. Okay, this is about the charity store. So, what items are available as a result of the donation? Is it just seeds apiece, cozy book nook, or, like, how does that work exactly? We'll just put the store live so you can see them all.
We'll just put the store live, but anything you could buy with charity tokens should be available.
We're just going to take that part of the store and break it into its own thing. Doesn't matter which charity we donate to.
Nope.
Donate to whichever charity you want and buy the other ones.
As long as it's one of the 4 we have listed.
Because we go and we take great pride in carefully vetting the ones we pick.
Exactly. If you're like, hey, there's this one charity that I really, 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 really love. Could you maybe think about it? If I've got time, I'll vet it. I just can't make promises.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if this question is too blunt, but since there's talk of starting to make contest for new builds and such, does it mean Odonics might be a 2025 thing?
I want you to go and rewatch the podcast, and I want you to look very carefully.
We didn't.
Very carefully.
Jill.
All right,
I
then.
didn't put any spoilers of that particular thing in this podcast.
Very carefully. I warned you I got access to the slides early. Okay? Very early. All right. And then where can I find the charities?
We'll probably just put them in the header of the charity shop, right?
Yeah, we can just put
or
them
I guess
in.
We could make a little Tokopedia page explaining the process.
Make a
and link that.
Yes, we'll make a Tokopedia page explaining the process with the links to where we want you to go to make these donations. Because we want you to go to the Trevor Project. We want you to go to the correct Ukraine charities. We want you to go to this Cancer Research Foundation. And we want you to go to Little Free Library. Okay? So, yeah, we'll make that for you. Definitely.
Podcast chatter is on fire.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Tina's folder of stuff for us is Jun and Dill.
Yeah, I know. I know that.
Oh, that was for them.
Alrighty. I think that's everything. Thank you. Words.
This one might take a little bit to put on YouTube because we're going to have to cry at Lua to stitch it together.
Yeah, sorry, Lua. But thank you for joining us. I hope that you had fun here today with us for Toko New Year's. 11 years of Tokos.
Make a wish.
Yeah. Is it Make-A-Wish at 11?
11-11, make a wish.
Oh.
Every day, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
You know, why not?
All right. Silly superstitions. I love it. All right. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Whew.
Oh, God.
This is what I get for looking at chat. This is why I don't watch chat while this is happening.
Cap got us good.
All right. Lots of love from Jill, Dunn, and the whole admin team. We will see you for Open in June. It's gonna be wild.
Also, it's closed today, so time for your mad dash. Go, guys, because I'm going.
Get your stuff in. All right. Love y'all. Bye.